Hello everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. I will be able to give my teaching experience. Question number 1. Please tell us about yourself. What are your interests and hobbies? I am Ruth Anyango Oketch. I have Bachelor of Science with Education major in Mathematics and Chemistry. I have 16 years teaching experience. We have taught mathematics and chemistry from grade 7 to 12. Currently, I'm pursuing my Master's in Applied Statistics at Maseno University. I have leadership skills where I am the Deputy Head Teacher, grade 10 at Lions High School. I'm in charge of STEM subjects. I always teamwork and collaborate with the members that I work with. I motivate my students, and my principal always refers to me as a hardworking lady. My interest, I'm interested in reading educational books and materials. I'm interested in traveling and community involvement. My hobbies, I like cooking, hiking, and even swimming. Thank you. Number 2. Talk about 2 strategies or methods that you effectively use in your classroom. 2 strategies or methods that I effectively use in my classroom. There's a day I was teaching reciprocals in my class, that is grade 10 achievers, and this subject was not being done so well. So there are 2 strategies that I use to ensure that the subject is well taught. I use learner-centered method. Why I did this so that I ensure that all the students are involved by creating group discussion, giving think, pair, share method, and also ensuring that the reciprocal are done by the students themselves using mathematical tables. Number 2, I use differentiated instruction where I had to put my learners according to their abilities. The learners that are faster, there are those that are a little bit low engaged. So I had to differentiate them by coming in with this method of group discussion and also reteaching and remedial. This one really helped because when I was doing remedial to the students that were a little bit that were not low engaged, I realized that doing reteaching or remedial work better for them. Question number 3. Tell us about your involvement in extracurricular activities that you could coach or supervise. My involvement in extracurricular activity, I love scouting and I've done it for the last 16 years. If you go to my former school, the school anthem that is sung there was produced by me together with the scouts. I took the scouts up to national level, and the students that I trained in scouting, some of them have joined forces like KDF and others. I also participate in science and engineering, where I train students in science and also mathematics. And this one has also helped students because we have also participated up to national level. And most of the students that come out from such places, they know how to write projects and research on their own. I also participate in mathematics club and STEM related subject club, where the students that have been in mathematics club, they score very well in mathematics, and normally I take them for contest and symposium. I also love volleyball, where I played volleyball in secondary school. Next question. If you have students who are noisy or non-attentive, share ways you regain their attention without interrupting the lesson. When I have students that are noisy or are not engaged, this is what I do. I use proactive strategies. Proactive strategies such as nonverbal cues. I just move closer to the student and maintain eye contact to the student. The student will not continue to make noise. Or I can call the student by his or her name, or I can pause a little bit to check whether the student is watching on me. And from that, I will not be able to disrupt other members, but I will be able to help the student so that it does not become noisy, but he cooperates and gets something on what I am teaching. My next question, question number 5. What motivated you to become a teacher for the subject for which you are applying? What motivated me to become a teacher? 1, I wanted to inspire lives of students. I also wanted to benefit my community, my society, and even the whole world. I wanted to benefit them. Then, what motivated me also was my primary teacher. This teacher really believed in me. When he was away, he was making me to be a peer teacher. I was teaching my fellow students, and I started teaching when I was in primary because I was good in mathematics, and I would score 98%, 100% in mathematics. This teacher really believed in me, and I used the opportunity to peer teach my fellow students. This one encouraged me, and one day I wanted also to become a teacher like my primary teacher. I proceeded with this one up to second level. I used to peer teach, I used to help other students, and it was in me that I have to help. And I love that one, and that's why I love teaching, and I love to help people solve mathematics problems. Question number 6. What subjects have you taught, and at what age level? I've taught mathematics and chemistry for the last 16 years. I've taught grade 7 to 12. I've taught ages 10 to 18 years. Thank you. Number 7. How do you prepare to teach your lessons, and what do your lesson plans include? The way I prepare to teach my lessons. First, I have to review the curriculum objective. After I've reviewed, I will know what is best for my students. Then I will gather materials that I'm supposed to use. If I'm supposed to use videos or apparatus, or I'm supposed to use textbooks. After I've gathered all the materials, then I plan for the method, the good method that can be used for the students. If it is a group work method, discussion, if it is demonstration, then I choose on the best one for my students. After I've chosen the best one, I ensure that the lesson that I'm going to teach includes the topic, which is now the strand, the subtopic, which is the substrand, the objectives, the lesson objectives, so that by the end of the lesson, I know and I ensure that my students know what they're supposed to achieve. Then I will have the introduction, I will have the lesson development, I will have the learning materials and the learner activities, I will have the assessments, formative and summative assessments, and then I will have the conclusion part and the reflection and remarks at the end of it all. Next question. What methods do you use to evaluate your students' progress? Okay, I use formative and summative method to evaluate my students. So first, formative assessment, I use to check the understanding of my students. I can use quick quizzes, observations, questioning, exit tickets. Summative assessment, I can give them projects so that they go and do. I can give them a question by the end of the topic, or I can give them end term test so that they also do. I can also use peer and self-assessment. That one can work. Though normally we give the assignment and also homework. Next question. If you use technology in your teaching, describe how you incorporate it into your teaching. Describe any experience you have with a smartboard. Now, technology is very, very important because it enhances student engagement. It also personalizes learning. It makes learning to be very, very interactive. So, I use technology in this sense. What I have to do, I normally use laptops and projectors, and I can have something to present to my students using my laptop. I can use PowerPoint to present some of the things. I can also use Google Classroom, where I can tell students to go and Google some of the things. They can use their parents' mobile phones and then come and present. I can also use Kahoot for assessments. I can use educational websites or educational application for skill building. So the use of technology is very, very important in learning. The next question. The use of smartboards. The smartboards, we use smartboards in our school in the sense that it displays notes to the students. Students can also have to label some things using smartboards. They can also solve some problems and also match some of the things using smartboards. The teacher can also leave something on the smartboard and then the student reviews it. Thank you. Number 11. Describe the most difficult problem you have had to deal with as a teacher and how did you resolve this problem? The most difficult problem I've encountered as a teacher is when I was teaching a class that was not engaged in learning, and there was a lot of distraction in this class. So what I did, I had to involve the students in making some of the rules and expectations by the end of the lesson so that they own those rules. I had to use positive reinforcement, where I now had to praise the students that have done well so that I motivate the others also to participate. And I had to solve this one, and after some time the class changed and most of the students started participating and their results increased significantly. This one taught me on how to deal with the students that are lowly engaged and the students that are disruptive, and this one increased even their critical thinking. The next question. Give an example to show that you are a flexible person and that you can make changes to your teaching and methods. Example that can show that I'm a flexible teacher. There's a day I was teaching probability and I realized that students were concentrating on only one individual that was interested and was taking them through when they were in their discussion group. So I realized that the class was not active, even though some of the questions that I gave them was off task. So what I did, I had to change some of the questions because they were high-ordered questions that was above their level. So I had to change that one, and then I had to give smaller steps on how the questions are being solved. And I also ensure that I gave question and answers to these students so that they answer the questions themselves. And I realized that after some time, the class started participating and their results were also good and students were now engaged. I realized being flexible and changing some of the methods that I do can work best for a student. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for listening to me, and I look forward to hear from you. Thank you.